bridge of the sea. Okay, some of you don't know me that. Right. Okay, so this is my notes. Flash. First things about the sea you might not know. Is that the sea is very noisy. Yeah, so it might surprise you that the sea, under the sea, is very noisy. And in fact, if we all just stay very quiet for seconds and listen. You can't hear it because we're in central London. Okay, but just take my word, it's very noisy. You know, because, you know, there's bears and things, right? They communicate, we all know that. But there's also the noise pollution that we are giving, okay? It's very difficult for the bears to understand with all our frackings and the dredging and the boats, but also the farting. No, not James farting. I'm talking about the herring. The herring love to fart. Did you know this? Now that's all fine. Unless they're farting, but they're not supposed to. Because about in 1994, I got a call from the Coast Guard in Sweden. They were very worried. They were picking up all these different signals. They thought there was Russian submarines in the water. It was just a herring! Oh, how we laugh! So that's the problem. But the problem with all the noise from the humans is that it makes it very difficult for the fish to flirt. Yeah. Did you know that fish, in particular cod, like to talk to one another when they're flirting? Yeah, it's very, very interesting. But you know, I'm just looking at my notes. You know, the problem with this is that because of all the pollution and this climate change and the rising sea temperatures, is the fish, like the herring, are going in places they don't know. And you think that's fine. The French fish, they can flirt with the English fish, and the English fish, they can flirt with the Northern fish, and the Northern fish, they can flirt with the Scottish fish. But no! Because fish have accents! 100% true! Unless it's the whole thing around me finding out this fact. Right recently, and it blew my fucking mind. So you know, the fish, they have accents, so that means, you know, that the fish, the French fish, they can't flirt with the English fish, and the English fish, they can't flirt with the Scottish fish, and it's hard enough for the fish to flirt with all the noise going on anyway. And also, it's getting even more confusing for the ladyfish, because, you know, we're putting the other pollutants out there. We're putting lots of chemicals. We're also from our bee. We're putting out the chemicals of the estrogen, and it's confusing the male fish. So there's fewer male fish. So it's very hard for female fish to date nowadays. They are literally swimming around being like, I thought it was hot stuff. And they have like a sassy seal friend being like, there's plenty more fish in the sea. And she's like, that's literally not. So, to help with this, I'm hoping this works. Can you see? To help with this, I have created a dating app for fish. Called Fish There. It's very, very useful. It's basically pick-up lines for fish so that they can communicate when they're flirting. Yeah. Or fishing line! Sexy fishing line! Okay, so welcome to the you two, you look like, are you on a date over here? Yeah? Yeah. Would you like to read the sexy fishing line to your sexy fishing friend lady?
Do I use your accent?
Oh! That's offensive. I don't think you're very good at you like, oh, you know, but no, we're talking about cod, so you could do a French, or a Scottish, or so you can do German.
What's a nice place like you doing
in a place like this? Did that turn you on? Yes. Yeah! That's good. Okay, sexy fishing line number 2. Wanna hook up? Not in a scary way. She goes the fish. I could go either way. So that's the sexy fishing line. And the cod and the other fish that have these issues, they'd have a much easier time if they were the Hamlet fish. Oh no, wait, I missed one! I hope you don't mind crabs. Cause I have no, that is the red herring. I just came up with that. Because we're talking about cod, this is just me being silly. Very, very silly. No, I'm talking about Hamlet fish. These are very sexy fish. You get them in Panama. The funny thing about the Hamlet fish that is they're very promiscuous. We know them as being very promiscuous because there's different types. You got these beautiful purple and blue and yellow, and they don't care. They just sleep with everyone, and they get to like dusk in Panama, and they all just do like sexy dance time. And they try to have as many partners as they can during the sexy dance time. Here's them doing some sexy dancing. There are also hermaphrodites. And I'm not saying hermaphrodites are promiscuous. I'm not saying these things. I'm just talking about the fish. But they seem to have a good time with it. Genuinely all I had to say about the Hamlet fish. So that's the fishy, sexy fishies. And I'm going to talk about what I think is the cutest sea creature that's ever existed, and that's the sea urchin. The sea urchin, in Italian, it's called riccio di mare, which translates as hedgehogs of the sea. So cute. And if that's not cute enough, they also like wearing hats. You see this? It's insane! These little spiky fuzzy things, they're crawling around and the big fish come over and they get scared. So what they do is they pick up little shells and stones and they wear them as hats to make them feel bigger and safer. And honestly, I think you should try it. And sometimes, they do it to feel safe, and sometimes they just do it to feel fancy. For sure, please go home and Google this, because marine biologists are crazy. And they 3D printed a bunch of tiny hats. Oh, we had so much fun. Yeah, 3D printing, that's a whole other thing that blows my fucking mind. So anyway, so that's the sea urchins. Oh, here's them at the Stevie Nicks concert. They're having a great time. So next I want to talk about another famous creature, the hermit crabs. The hermit crabs, they are very funny. And for this, I need my prop table. Ow, I just got my COVID jab yesterday. I cannot pick shit up. So I'm gonna just drag this over here. You can all hear me, yeah?
Ja, das ist richtig.
I have no idea how this is gonna work. So I don't know if many of you have heard of the David Attenborough. I'm thinking of him. He did this video about how hermit crabs, the crabs, and they have the shell that's their house, that's like their little home. And when they see a new shell, they like pick it up and they try and that's their home, right? But they don't just do this willy-nilly. No, they're organized. So when I used to do this demonstration, and when I say used, I mean one time in 2019 before COVID. I used to demonstrate. They used to organize themselves by size by using hats and audience members. But that is not a COVID safe. So instead, today, I realized this today and ran around charity shops trying to find things that could resemble crabs. I also needed to buy lots of tiny hats. I do not have a 3D printer. I just confused the lady in the the British Heart Foundation. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do this demonstration about the hermit crabs, and you're just going to fucking go with it. I'm trying to make sure it's not bad. Okay, so this is a big shell, yeah? On the sea. And you know, this crab comes along. Oh, where's your hat? There's your shell, okay. So wait a second. So this crab comes along. That looks like a nice shell. He tries to put some, it's too big. It's too big. So he takes the top and he goes, okay, it's too big. So I'm going to wait here, and so I can signal to my other hermit crab buddies that there's a freaking good shell here, right? So he stands there with his shell on. Stearne begins, what the fuck is my life? Oh no, this one's eyes came off. Okay, just go with it. This friend comes along, and he's like, oh, what's going on over here, Harry? What you waiting for? And he's like, it's a big shell. He's like, well, you know, I'm like smaller than you, so there's no point in me wasting everyone's time trying on the shell. I'm just going to stay here and, you know, see what happens, okay? So he just sits there with his hat on. And then, so very scientific. And then so another hermit crab comes along, and he goes, this came from a doll. I let them keep the doll, they were very confused. And he goes, hey, where do I fit on in this? And say he stood here, he's like, hey, you know, I'm a little bit bigger than you, so I'm gonna get in this lineup like this, and I'm gonna wait here. So that's what they do. Fuck. You know, he's wearing the sombrero, it's happening, okay? So this sits in debate, okay? This sits in debate exactly like this. Until a big crab comes along. Yeah. There he goes, he comes along and he goes, that looks like a good hat. I think that would fit me. So he takes his hat off and he tries his on and he's like, yeah, that looks good, yeah? So he's like, okay, I'm going to go and burn it on your hat. And then they all go, okay, cool. So what they all do is they all just move up one, like this. And they all get a new home. And we do it all again! I do not have tiny Lego crabs. So that is me. I hope you're in the best part. I put the thing. Oh shit, I lost your little remote. That is! Lost that one again. Oh, I broke it. This person is very nice, very sexy.